Belinda, welcome to Business Insider.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I've watched what Raw Light has been doing, for the last 5 or 6 years. You reminded me about Gloria Jean's Lake Haven, but we won't even go there. Am I happy to be out of retail? Yes, I am. Thank you for your inquiry. Raw Light, how old is it now? It's
9 years.
9 years.
In July.
Yeah.
9 years old. Beautiful.
And you have been through highs and lows.
Yes.
We'll get to the baby in a minute.
Yeah.
What do you, out of 9 years, there might be one or two things that just stick in your mind to say, wow, I learned a lot there. Tell me one or two of those things.
Would most likely be the time when a major advertising company got my telephone wrong. Yeah. And they advertised and they put it out there amongst society with the wrong telephone number.
And there's another thing. We're just talking about assume nothing.
That's right.
Actually, even here, if we do anything, we check telephone numbers.
That's right.
That was early on?
Yeah, it was about 5 years ago now. Yeah. But therefore they still wanted me to pay for it, and they still wanted me to pay for the phone lines being diverted to my correct number. So I was looking at least $15,000 in costs just to organise. Correct. It was major, absolutely major. You can't not have your telephone
going to somewhere that's going to be answered.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So but through.
Are you a big advertiser? That's obviously a campaign.
Yes. Yes. I always advertise.
Yeah.
You have to. How are people going to find you?
So tell me a bit about who your segments are with Raw Light, because you will design candles, you'll design lanterns, you'll design lighting effects.
Yep. Our major clients, I have my finger in every pie. So the general public, and then we have our supply, like our wholesalers, I should say. So people like the funeral industry, hotels, resorts, restaurants, day spas, churches, and then you go into things like bonbonnieries, weddings, christenings, naming days, anything to do with birthdays as well. Because everyone lights a candle for their birthday.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And do you manage it all through Tugra?
Yes. Yes. Everything's managed, definitely.
Staff levels? How many do you have there?
In peak, we have up to 10 running around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I could cope with any more at the moment. They're high maintenance.
How do you choose them then? Do you have a process or?
Yeah, and everything in my company has a process.
Right.
And we always follow procedure, but it's very hard because you never know what sort of luggage they're carrying, and we all do. We all have our own issues. I'm not saying I don't. We all have our own things at home and things that we've dealt with through our life, which creates, our journey. So, it's very hard.
How do you find your staff? Do you advertise? Do you use the headhunter or?
I have previously used headhunters. I found them very difficult to work with, especially here on the coast. I don't think they've found the people that we were looking for, and I've just used general word of mouth now, and I find that word of mouth is much better than, because everybody knows somebody, that you don't. Yeah. So.
And that relationship with that person who does know someone will recommend someone who fits. Hopefully.
That's right.
Yeah,
because they know who I am, and they know how I work. They know my lifestyle, and I think it's really it really does pay to know the person who's recommending.
You, through that 9 years, you've been a good client of the BiUC.
Yeah.
So, tell me how did you get involved there? How did you hear about them, and how have they helped, I guess?
I had a dream being a candle maker has always been my dream.
Yeah, okay.
Absolute. I've always loved making candles. And in 2000 I was sitting there and I had the Express Advocate open, and there it was, this little ad, do you want to open up your own business, or do you have a home business? And I thought, well, I should go and speak to these people and that's when I first met Debbie Carroll.
All right.
Yeah.
Our Deb.
Yes, yes, many, many moons ago. And we've grown from there. And in 2002, she helped me launch the company and guided me with what I needed to do, what was legislation, you know, your triple bottom line, you know, you had to know all the things that you needed to know to start to grow and to let people on the coast know, you know, here I am. And come
Did you do any of their courses on the way through?
Oh, I've done every course. I'm actually booked in for another one, debt collecting.
Oh, right.
So yeah, that's a new one.
Debt.
Yeah, I think it's called debt collecting.
That would be the
yes.
purpose of it anyway. Just collect that money that people owe you. It's not a bad policy.
No. Yeah. So that's my next one I'm going to be doing over there at the Zenith building. But I believe that you must, throughout your journey of life, you always have to educate yourself. There's always new things. You know, you have to be innovative and find out, you know, and keep your brain.
Where do you go for your innovation then? Because it's art that you're in.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I travel the world actually.
Yeah.
I have made candles in China, produced to the world in China for several years, and designed over in China. I go to Germany and definitely Amsterdam and Holland. You know, they're leading candle manufacturers of the world. You know,
is that right?
Oh yeah, amazing. The machinery, you can buy anything you want in Holland when it comes to candle making.
Candles, yeah.
Yes, it's definitely candle making machines, moulds, all the utensils. We don't have that sort of, you know, it doesn't exist in Australia. You can't go to a supplier and find all the tools that you need. So yeah, I do. I have to go overseas and I hunt it down, and I come back to Australia and produce it and see what works for the Australian public.
So you're strong at testing that sort of thing, market testing, or
test and measure everything. Doesn't
test
matter
and measure.
what I do.
Go. That's Deborah talking. Debbie.
Yep. If I do it, it's tested, and then I measure that. If it's successful, great. Let's run with it.
Do you have a bigger plan? Do you have where's Raw Like going to be in 2 years' time or 3 years' time? Do you have any vision? Do you want to share?
Yeah, of course. Look, it's always been my dream to manufacture and to be big, to be the leading manufacturer in candles and candlewares in Australia. I've always, and I haven't hidden that from anybody. I mightn't have told as many people, but that's my dream.
You've told a few more now.
Yes. So, and especially designing and engineering quality, because that's what Australia doesn't have, is the quality assurance to feed the, you know, to have here in Australia. We don't have that quality. But
and I admire, I tell people about what the Big Paddle's going to do, what we're going to do here at Business Insider, and I think it's just a way of, you know, self-visualising, you know, where you want to be. So that's a cool thing. Talking about visualisation, you've pushed it to a new level. Talking about pushing 22 months ago, a new baby. So
precious.
Yeah.
Completely
It's going
precious.
on 25 years old now.
Oh yeah, blink and they grow.
Indeed.
Blink and they grow.
So tell me about, I don't know about too much detail, but this thing called life-work balance, you know, does it exist?
Yes.
Yeah. So how does it work?
You just have to be very multi-skilled. You have to have, you know, you have to sit down and you have to plan your week. It doesn't always, you know, work out. You have to be able to have that, you know, be able to shift and move. And I rely on my family as well, and they're amazing. My mother's amazing. She cares for Sasha for me. I mean, I'm blessed that I have that security. Where I can quickly move and juggle and be somewhere if I have to be. And also I'm very lucky that I've got good staff, whereas last week I couldn't be in China. But I was able to send a staff member over there to check quality, check stock, make sure it was going to the right place, make sure it was packed correctly, and had them home safe back in Australia, you know. And I'm very lucky that I've got, you know, being able to be a mum
to accept
and
people
have
having too much luck. I think it's about planning.
It is about planning,
and if
definitely.
you don't get the right team,
that's right.
No matter.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's very, very true. It's all about planning and juggling as well. You have to be able to have that movement. You have to be able to say, yeah, I can do that. You know, I can be at that meeting at 11:30. You know, on that night, and I know that my daughter's going to be cared for here, and you know, everything's going to be okay. Yeah, okay, I might be a bit tired, but that's what life's about. It's getting out there, doing it, doing it, and enjoying it.
Just stop it for a minute. People should know, before we started this interview, you said you were feeling a little tired.
Yeah.
What we're seeing now is Belinda tired.
Yes, I am tired.
So let me warn you, don't try and catch her when she's really firing.
That's
okay?
right.
We'll run with subtitles. What about a rant? Where you look at what's happening with businesses on the Central Coast, or you look at business generally, and you say, this gets up my nose. What gets up Belinda's nose? What do you think you look at and say, wow, I wish we could change this? Or
what would I know? There's so much. There's, you know, I think becoming environmentally sustainable. You have a lot of large companies and organisations just wanting to stay the same and doing the same old thing and running, you know, and not caring for the environment. And I think the environment, we really need to take a step back. We need to make change. And stand up and be proud of what we do and care for either the wetlands behind our factories or that oil that drips into the drain or the tap that's left dripping in the toilets. We have to stand up and make changes.
I've not asked anyone this before, but we're talking about carbon dioxide and we're talking about candles and we're talking about a carbon tax.
Yes.
You know, what's your view on the carbon tax?
Oh, I prefer not to talk about it, actually.
No,
look, you're going to make, you know, the only way you make change, I believe, is when you touch the hip pocket.
I agree totally.
So
I'm with you.
If they do, I think then people will start, you know, paying attention, turning off lights.
Adjusting.
Adjusting, that's right.
And the only reason I'm asking you that, Belinda,
environment
is because of what you said, you know, is you look at people not changing.
Yeah.
And I thought, here's a chance I can ask this girl about. But no, it is about forcing change, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And I think really when it comes down to the dollar, when you start putting a price on something, people will pay attention. And that's down every level. Doesn't matter how far you go, it will, you know, it makes a ripple, and that's what needs to happen. So,
okay, thank you for that.
That's all right.
If we could grab a recommendation for the BiUC and finding the next Belinda who wants to come in and share her or her journey, what would you say to them about what you've got out of the BiUC?
I think it's just the most valuable resource we have on the Central Coast. They have guided me and cared for me. Every time I've had an issue or a problem, I have phoned them. I don't have a second thought. I pick up the phone and they're always there. They will answer your phone. 9 times out of 10 they're after business hours. So you can phone the office directly and someone picks up and says, hi, how you going? And if they can't give you the answer, they'll give you a phone number and a name and someone who can. And that helps in small business. I mean, I think I would have had a heart attack. Long time. Many.
Many.
If I didn't have the support of the BiUC Centre and over the years, the knowledge that I've learnt from the BiUC, and also not only that, the friendships. That is the business friendships and the networking is just unbelievable. I mean, I've done many courses through there, but the business regional workshop was just amazing. The friendships that I have, and we've grown. Our business have grown together because we've supported each other and cared for each other. And if we do have problems, yes, we do. We all say it. We phone the BiUC Centre. And that's what you need to do, and that's what we need to have on the Central Coast. It's a great support network.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a lovely afternoon.
Thank goodness you were here when you were tired. I don't think I could have kept up if you'd been up to scratch. Girl.
Oh, really?